Hey guys, this is Dr. Aeronautics. Today, we're going to be exploring the Jones Falls Conduit Minecraft model that I have developed. We'll be starting at the Infall, where the water enters the 2-mile-long tunnel, and we'll be concluding part 1 of our tour in the Goliath Chamber. Okay, now don't let the fact that we're in a train simulator fool you. The reason we're here at Baltimore Penn Station is so that we can gain a little bit more insight into specifically where we're going. So just a quick tour around. This is the most light rail-like vehicle that we have in Train Simulator. Over here is the parking garage. Interstate 83 is just beyond that. That's looking south. West is the direction we're heading. That arch bridge there is the Howard Street Bridge, and this is looking north. And the distance we'll be traveling is very short, just about 1,000 feet. Okay, this ramp on the left is for the Baltimore Light Rail itself, and the car that you just saw going by was Interstate 83. Okay, we're coming up to the Jones Falls now. The conduit is just over there, and we should see the stream any moment now. There it is. This is where we'll stop. Okay, and that is looking towards the conduit. We'll be down there in just a moment. That's the B&P tunnel. Okay, here we are in the simulation. And here is the conduit. Just kidding. That's not actually the conduit. The conduit is just through that tunnel. This is actually the northeast corridor right here that we just crossed. And here is the Jones Falls flowing from north to south. And the conduit is that way. Okay, so this tunnel here carries the Jones Falls underneath the northeast corridor, and not all of the tunnels flood at once. This particular one, based on the current configuration, or at least within the past year, hasn't been known for flooding. Now, there are 3 tunnels, and well, we're going to get our feet wet here. And as you can see, I also have a boat, so there will come a point where we need to use that if we don't want to get our whole body wet, which I do not recommend. Yeah, you can see that tunnel right there. The second tunnel, as well as the third tunnel, is carrying water today. So we just lucked out that this nearer one wasn't carrying water. Okay, we're in the infall stage now. And that is the entrance to the tunnel. I have to say at this point, guys, the reason that I created this in Minecraft is so that nobody had to go into the tunnel, right? Don't go in there. It's extremely dangerous. It's extremely illegal. Don't try this at home. That's all I can say. Okay, now this iron girder bridge right here used to carry a track of the Northern Central Railway from Penn Station up through the North Avenue area. In fact, it is where the light rail currently, it connects up with the light rail just across the the stream here, and then it continues up basically exactly where the light rail right-of-way is today. Okay, you can see we're starting to come into a concrete apron now. In reality, this is all covered in graffiti that can't really be shown in Minecraft without painstaking effort being done. Okay, this is it. So we're looking into what people commonly called Jonesy's Nares. The function of this particular tunnel segment is to take water from an above-ground stream, that's right here, and channel it underground beneath Interstate 83, which runs basically from west to east, paralleling the northeast corridor there, just above and behind the entrance to this tunnel. Now, it's very common through the tunnel for a combination of baffles and aprons separating the water on a typical dry flow day. For instance, we're standing on an apron right now. The purpose of this is to try and force the water down into this westernmost tunnel here to carry most of the dry weather flow. And then these two other tunnels remain dry unless there is a flood. Just a note about the Jones Falls is that it is an urban river. It swells very quickly, and believe it or not, at times this stream carries more water than the Patuxent River, which is the largest river entirely within the state of Maryland. Now, the flow is typically about 20 cubic feet per second on a dry flow day. But when the flow gets above about 120 cubic feet per second, which commonly happens in a downpour, the water here starts to back up on entering that tunnel, and the level rises to the point where it now overflows this apron and goes down into these two other tunnels. Because of that, we call the lower conduit here, which happens to be on the western side, and that will change at various locations through the tunnel. We call that the dry flow tunnel. And we call these two empty ones here the flood stage tunnels. And I have to say, being here on a calm weather day is extremely important, because if you end up in a downpour, you might not be able to evacuate on time and get yourself in a lot of trouble here. Okay, why did I decide to make the Jones Falls Conduit for Minecraft? It's because the Jones Falls Conduit offers exploration splendor beyond compare because of its length and very diverse tunnels. It's 3 kilometers or 1.9 miles long and has 8 full-size unique tunnel designs and 6 chambers or dimension shifts, and all running continuously through darkness. These brown posts here, just before entering the tunnel, are used to stop the water from, over time, eroding away the concrete. And it's either iron or some sort of ceramic material. I'm not exactly 100% sure. Okay, we're going in. The whole trip will be done in real time. No skips. Okay, right around this location here, there is something that I like to call a wall freak that sits on the right side. It kind of looks like Bart Simpson from the Simpsons movie. And there's a reason I said from the Simpsons movie. Check out Ronnie's video of the actual conduit if you want to see more. Alright, that's the last look outside that we're going to see for the next 2 miles. Okay, we're going to round the corner now, and that's a scary sight, but it's one that we're going to see a whole lot of, where it's just fading into blackness. We're directly underneath Interstate 83, and just a reminder here that over this side we have the East Conduit, and over here we have the West Conduit. So we're pretty much in the middle of this thing, and it travels directly underneath I-83. And well, let's see if that's the dim light. Yeah, you're not seeing anything. Pretty darn spooky. Okay, now this is a manhole cover. If I turn the light off, you might be able to... Nope, I can't even see the light coming down. Some of the manholes allow you to see out, others don't, so just the way it works. Okay, now at this point, we've reached a sudden decline, which means we're coming into the first junction chamber, triple barrel hull. This is a graffiti over here, a work of graffiti. Okay, now note this baffle right here. This is directing the dry weather flow of the Jones Falls from the West Conduit into this new tunnel. They call this section Penn Station's Chasm. So if I step down, the reason they call it triple barrel hull is because there's 3 barrels. 1, 2, 3. Now you probably could have guessed that, but anyhow, here's another one of these cap covers, these brown cap covers that are designed to prevent the water of extreme floods from ripping the concrete off through the process of erosion. And now sometimes you will see big logs and sticks and stuff that just get wedged up right here. So you know there's a tremendous amount of water at work. I've been told that during the worst of floods, this entire section can fill and become pressurized. That's how much water is flowing through here sometimes. So that's about it for this. There is one sewer here coming on. Let's see if I can figure out which location this is. This is most likely the Maryland Avenue storm sewer right here. And some of these are dry, others carry buried streams, and they will deposit their water on the ground here. The manhole covers, you will hear cars running over top of them, which is pretty interesting. And pretty spooky, too, because it echoes a whole bunch. In fact, the water here really cascades down, and the noise in Minecraft doesn't do it justice. It sounds like a librarian shushing you right in your ear, and the water runs very fast, and it jumps and cascades on the way down, and it sprays, and it really looks like a, what would you call it, a whitewater rapid, and then it continues into this tunnel here. And we'll be in the eastern of 2 conduits in Penn Station's Chasm. Okay, now the next thing I wanted to call your attention to are these posts. Now, every 25 feet there's one of these. These are what you call engineer's chains, and they denote the distance to a particular landmark. So, a chain is 100 feet, and then anything to the right of the plus sign is the difference in feet. and one engineer's chain is 100 feet. So the number 17 means 1,700 feet plus 50 feet and westward, which means we're moving towards something eastward, and you can confirm that because the number here is 25 higher than here. This is counting down to the Goliath Chamber, which is where this video will end. So when we reach 0 plus 0W, we're there. So you can see we have 1,750 feet to go. So it's going to be quite a long trip. Now, the tunnel here is 9 meters high and about 7 wide, which is almost insane, you know, to think that something would be that big. Now, this tunnel turn here is a little bit more gradual than sudden, but in real life, it does turn 30 degrees, and it follows Interstate 83. In fact, this curve is directly underneath Maryland Avenue. Now here's a bigger sewer. So I think this is going to be the Maryland Avenue storm sewer. I haven't deduced exactly what every single one of these turns are. It looks like you can see out of the manhole covers now. Maybe it's just the fact of being deeper inside the tunnel now. There's like a new set of darkness. Okay, now if I continue, here we have another storm sewer. I think this one probably isn't the Charles. There's two really big ones, and this one, as you can see, is definitely carrying an underground stream. If I look at the map, this one might actually be the Charles Street storm sewer. This is one of the big ones. It's 3 meters in diameter, and the other big one down here is going to be the Lovegrove Alley storm sewer. And this right here is pretty much the straightest section of the entire conduit. We're at 1,200, so we're just about 1/3 of the distance from Triple Barrel Hall. Okay, now this here is going to be the Lovegrove Alley storm sewer. Okay, I think... Alright, I might have a command block that's not working right. Okay, that's a little bit better. The way I'm doing this is I have a command block which commands night every single time the day comes out. And the reason I have to do that is because you saw that blue glow at the very end of the tunnel. That's unrealistic. So in order to take that blue glow out, I command night when we're in the tunnel. Ooh, I totally forgot about this. This is my best attempt to show some strange work of art that's by the Lovegrove Alley storm sewer. And it's just these interesting symbols on the wall. And they look a little bit like this. I tried to do as much as I could. This is supposed to be one continuous artwork here that's spray painted on the wall. Strange symbols. Like one of them looks like a lambda, but it has a tick mark next to it. A couple arrows, strange cross symbols. Yeah, just some really interesting symbols that are totally unique. I'm glad I noticed that, 'cause sometimes I go too fast through here, and I'll end up missing stuff, which is something I don't want to do. Now, sometimes you have to step carefully over little bits of water that's dribbling down. And one more note about these things is that they are an early warning sign. If more water starts to pour down them, then you know that it's raining. And the distance between here and the surface is much less than the distance between the entrance and where we are now. Which means water will come down these tubes, these side sewers, before it will come down the main line. So if you get a sudden discharge, that is a really bad sign that you need to hightail it out of here. And you're in a bad spot here because, you know, that way is about 1,000 feet to get out of the tunnel. This way it is about 7,000 feet to get out of the tunnel. So yeah, that's not good. In fact, it might even be a longer distance than that. If I do a quick calculation here to figure out exactly how far we are from the exit of the tunnel, we are 8,000 feet from the exit. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, now this is another beautiful work of art here. There's a term for special graffiti. I think it's called like jackpot graffiti. It's true works of art here, and basically what this is supposed to be is a beer bottle being held by a hand, and a very long pink and green sign with a thick arrow on it that says "Keep Going." And it's massive. It covers probably 4 or 5 meters in length and maybe 2 meters in height. Now, one of the interesting things in this tunnel, there's this strange repeating symbol, and if you will, imagine that it looks like the peace sign, and the parentheses, if you imagine them going all the way around, so it forms a big circle. It's basically a peace sign in the middle of the tunnel. All right, let's see where we are now. We're about 800, so we're just over halfway to the Goliath Chamber now. Okay, rounding another would-be gradual turn here. We can now see all the way down to, well, we can't see, but something that could see in the dark, but certainly see us. All the way down to the Goliath Chamber now. This is approximately a 30-degree turn here that, like I said, is going to be a lot more gradual than it would be in real life here. Now, you might notice that there's not much graffiti, and that's a sign that we're getting deeper into the system. There comes a point where you get so deep into the system that even people, the way they are, spray painting everything, you won't see any graffiti. And a lot of times they say that's a bad sign. It's kind of like the Waffle House index. You have the graffiti index, which is the amount of graffiti in general shows the level of safety. If you see tons of graffiti at the entrance and less as you go inside, that means that you're getting into a more dangerous situation. Alright, we're getting really close now. I can start to see it. Now in real life there would be a major roar going on right here. Alright, let's see if we can figure out what this tunnel is. This is going to be, it's probably the Guilford Avenue storm sewer. Yeah, that's Guilford Avenue right there. Just depositing a small stream, and they all sort of, the bottom is not 100% flat, it's concave, and they'll run down pretty much the middle of the tunnel here. And here we are. This is the largest tunnel in the entire system, the Goliath Chamber. It takes the 2 tunnels of Penn Station's chasm and funnels them down to one, the Hendrix Folly. And this is what we're going to be starting in next time. I'll go ahead and start lighting it up now so that you can begin to see it. And I think at this point we're not going to have to worry about light coming down here because, well, there is still a little bit of blue below. It's another manhole cover right there. You can actually see those on Interstate 83. If you're on Interstate 83 in the southbound lanes, and you go over one of those, if you go over one of those manholes in your car, and you hear it go, pa-doom, that will echo down here. So there is a way that you can actually make your car send noise into the tunnel. Alright, this is Hendricks Folly. It is a 9-meter diameter semicircular tunnel, and it carries the entire Jones Falls, and there is basically no way around it. You're going to have to get your feet wet at this point. There is no dry surface to walk on, and yeah, all of the water funnels into approximately 1 foot deep. 1 foot deep system on the floor. The floor is concave, but it is shallow to the point where the Jones Falls covers the entire floor, which means the sides are slippery, and you have to end up going right through the middle, which is where it's the deepest. Alright, this is the Goliath Chamber in all its glory. We are directly underneath Interstate 83, where the Guilford Avenue Bridge is. And from this point forward, we will be continuing on next episode from the Goliath Chamber to the shore. I've been Dr. Aeronautics, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.